Back with another review, and this is for THX04, who wanted me to talk about and review Troll 2. Actually, he wanted me to review two films, and I'm going to start off with Troll 2, which I have heard about this film. It was the first time watch for me. And yeah, this film is awful, it's bad, it's trash, but I can't lie, I got some laughs out of this movie. This was more of a comedy than, let's say, Going Overboard with Adam Sandler, which I did a rant on, or Movie 43. I mean, throughout this film, just the acting and certain scenes, delivery of lines is quite funny. Especially the one scene which you can find on YouTube real easy. The guy is looking at the top of the staircase. This girl is getting eaten by goblins. And he's like, they're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my god! So, I mean, you get that kind of acting, but the story real quick, to give the story, the plot. You have our main character, this child, Joshua, who's played by Michael Stevenson, and he's being contacted by his dead grandfather, Seth, which he calls Grandpa Seth in the film, and he appears sort of as a ghost throughout the film, and his grandpa informs Joshua, our main character, that there's this evil creatures known as goblins that are roaming this town. This town that's called Nilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards. And they're roaming this town, tricking humans into consuming poisoned food, which will turn them into vegetables, which the goblins love. That's their favorite food. So they're the goblins, we eat the humans. And that's the story here. And yeah, like I said, it's bad, it's trash, but I mean the acting, the cast here, it's like they knew what kind of movie they were making. And again, this is a first time watch for me, so I'm taking in this movie. And for me, it's like the actors knew what kind of movie they were making. And if you look at all the reviews, I mean, it gets a 2.9 in IMDb, so obviously people don't like the movie, but to me, again, just the way the acting came off and the lines and the dialogue, delivery of lines, random scenes where this one witch character is seducing this guy, and she has like a corn on the cob. She's holding this corn on the cob, and they get kinky, and they're making out with the corn on the cob in their mouth, and then popcorn just kind of starts to pop, like it's starting to get real steamy. So you get like popcorn in this guy's camper. If you've seen the film, you know what I mean. Or you can just look up clips. Look up clips for yourself. It's just funny. I mean, how these scenes just come out of nowhere. And again, that character... Actually, let me pull up the cast here. I have the cast up. The character Varnold, the one that screams, "Oh my God!" He gets turned into a plant. And, throughout the film, you got the dialogue, which I have to mention. Like, okay, there's this one scene, and throughout the film, it's interesting how they bring in the food. And again, for people who know what I'm talking about, that the food that they eat in the film has like green stuff on it, like green substance. It's either like some kind of jello consistency or pudding, and the green slime. It's really neat to see how, and again, this is all practical. I mean, even in towards in the first 20 minutes of the film when they're going to this town, the main character, which, I mean, the kid actor's bad. If you're going into this expecting any good acting, you're not going to get that. Everyone across the board is bad in terms of acting. But the main kid has this dream where the parents turn into these goblins, and then they look at the sun, and then like this green liquid starts to drip down his face, and he starts to change. But then you cut later on to where they're having dinner, and again, everything they're eating has some kind of green shit on it. And it's not shit, but, just green substance, green goo, pudding type of jello. But a lot of, even the townspeople in this film, they would give these characters, these sandwiches or whatnot that have like green stuff in it. But they're eating the supper, and then the main kid, to stop them from eating this food because it would turn them into vegetables, he's getting ready to take a piss on it, on their dinner. He stands in a chair, he's getting ready to take a piss, but then it cuts away, and his father is distant, like takes the kid to his room, and just the father, he's bad in the acting, and he's holding his son like this over his shoulder and walking from room to room, saying, do you see this writing? Do you know what it means? Hospitality. You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it. And, I mean, what else? I'm just kind of going through the quotes here, the dialogue. And so you got lines like that. And he's like, the father, he's saying to the son, I'm tightening my belt one loop so I don't have to feel hunger pains. And your sister and mother will have to do likewise. Okay, Joshua, you want to get rough with me? You want to show me that you don't like the choice of this house for our vacation by going on a hunger strike? Well, I'll accept this challenge. But just remember, when I was your age, I really did suffer from hunger. So we'll see who gets through this. But just remember, I've got more practice than you. I'll see you tomorrow. And again, you can't take anything in this movie seriously. So again, going in, you can't expect any great acting. You can't expect anything. But again, yeah, then the scene where I mentioned where the guy is making out with this witch type character over a corn on the cob, they're making out with the corn and the cob in their mouths, and then popcorn just kind of is popping out of nowhere, and this guy is covered in popcorn. He's like, no more popcorn. And even the character of Grandpa Seth, he appears throughout the film, and even that's laughable, how he will appear in the mirror, or to our main character Joshua. And then there's one scene where they try to have a seance to summon the grandfather, and it's just laughable stuff. Again, it's laughable. This film has a lot of silliness in it, a lot of silly stuff, but it's stuff that made me laugh because it's that bad. And again, that's more than what Going Overboard did, Going Overboard with Adam Sandler. This to me was more, it's like it knew what it was, and it made me laugh. And I'm looking at this, the dialogue here. Even at the end of the film, and the goblins themselves, which I didn't talk about, even the goblins, I mean, they're silly to look at. I mean, again, it's low budget, but it's, obviously you can tell it's suits, costumes, what have you, but it's funny to look at. And I haven't seen the first Troll movie. I was looking this up, that Noah Hathaway is in that. Yeah, Treyu from Neverending Story. So again, I haven't seen the first Troll. I just saw this film. And yeah, I mean, but I was saying, getting back real quick to what I was saying, the main character at the end, he's surrounded by these goblins, and he's getting ready to eat a sandwich, and he's like a double-decker bologna sandwich. And Credence, the character of the witch, I believe, she was like, think about the cholesterol, think about the toxins. And it's just random how he asked for a double-decker bologna sandwich. And again, all of what I'm saying here may not make any sense for anyone who hasn't seen the film, but for people who have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Because it's just funny stuff. And but yeah, I could look at the dialogue forever. For people, definitely see for yourself. But I'm just sort of looking at the trivia here. It says right here the entire cast went to a casting call hoping to be extras and ended up in lead roles. The director Claudio Fragreso is still angry about the film's poor reception. He crashed a cast reunion Q&A. After he was escorted out of the room, he heckled the cast from the hallway, calling them liars and dogs as they answered fan questions. So I don't know what's up with the director here. Although the movie was titled Troll 2 to capitalize on the minor success of Troll, it has no connection to the plot or production of the earlier films. So there you go. No connection to the first movie. And let's see. And Best Worst Movie, Don Packard said that he was in and out of the mental hospital during filming, which he watched it later. He realized he wasn't acting in his scenes. He was really as disturbed as his character. Talking about that movie, but yeah, from George Hardy, which is the father, his audition, all they had to do was act out his now famous line, "You can't piss on hospitality," in front of 9 smoking Italians, none of whom understood English. And George was told that he got the role partially because the Italians loved his energy that he put into that piece of dialogue. So there you go. But yeah, it's one of these films, awful movies, that has definitely taken a life of its own years later. People still will say that it's the best, worst movie ever made or what have you, whatever title you want to throw at it. And I can see that. This is, again, it's awful. It's a bad movie with bad dialogue and delivery of dialogue across the board and bad acting. But the way that it comes off, it's funny. And you just go see clips for yourself. And yeah, this is fun trash. It's garbage, but it's fun garbage. It's comedy garbage. It's comedy trash. And I like the movie. Again, I know people are like, what? Because, I'm coming off of doing rants for Going Overboard and Movie 43. Why should I like this movie? But again, and from the goblins to the food that they were eating throughout the film, and the green substance, and it's wacky, crazy, insane acting. And again, to me, it gave me more laughs. It gave me more to laugh at. So that's my review of Troll 2. I like the movie. I know I shouldn't, but I like Troll 2. So there you go. That's my review of Troll 2. But thank you. And my next review for THX04 will be Police Story with Jackie Chan. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you later.